Well, it is 4 days to the gubernatorial and the state houses of assembly elections scheduled for the 11th of March 2023. And of course, right here in the commercial hub, it is a three-man horse race between the Labour Party, the PDP, and the APC. But of course, it is yet to be seen who would take the seat of power come March 11, 2023. We have joining us the spokesman for the Labour Party gubernatorial candidate, Dapo, Adaramewa, joining us on the show this morning. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, the Labour Party seems to have taken Nigeria by the storm, especially looking at the fact that it was considered a mere social media sensation, to being a party without structure, and then to being a party that won the sitting APC government in the presidential election that took place February 25th. How did it happen?
It's the people, it's the Nigerian people. I think that's the mistake the other parties made. You know, they've created these alleged structures, and these structures are structures of manipulation, extortion, and almost blackmail of the people. But the people have had enough. You know, the Nigerian people have said, you know what, enough is enough. We want to change. A lot of people know that over the last 8 years, their life haven't really gotten better. You know, we are dealing with a naira scarcity, a petrol scarcity, all of these kind of inconsistencies. And the people themselves are the structure in the Labour Party. And that's why our logo is Mama, Papa, Pikin.
Mama, Papa, Pikin. But if you look at this structure, you know, a lot of people have said that when it comes to grassroots politics, the Labour Party, you know, the Labour Party began in 2002, and then we know that it gained prominence after Peter Obi joined, that was last year, towards the presidential election. And we've seen how your principal has moved from the COA party in 2012 to the 2017 rather, to the PDP, and then now in the Labour Party. When it comes to grassroots politics, how efficient or how would you say he has been able to reach those at the grassroots, especially considering the fact that some people would even tell you that his Yoruba is not even sound. So would he even be able to connect with those at the grassroots, considering the fact that a large percentage of Lagosians are of the Yoruba tribe?
I mean, he is a Yoruba man. He's a proud Yoruba man.
We know that.
You know, from the Rhodes family, goes back 100 years now. I think politics is now moved beyond, you know, oh, this person is speaking my dialect exactly the way I want it spoken, to a point where we are looking for good governance. We're looking for the basics of life, for security, for being able to eat in the morning, eat in the afternoon, eat in the night. Nobody really cares. You know, if I go to a restaurant, I don't care if the chef, you know, that made my food speaks my dialect exactly the way I want it.
So you think those raising that point are really not, they are inconsequential?
They're inconsequential, and the Lagosians have shown that. In the last election, they showed that. They came out overwhelmingly. It was Yoruba people that came out in their numbers to vote for His Excellency Peter Obi. You know, it shows that people are not playing this game. And I know there are constant attempts to try and, it's called divide and conquer, you know, try and say, oh, he's different from you. But no, he's out there to serve you. And we know that the alleged well-spoken Yoruba men that have been leading us for the past 8 years haven't made the lives of Lagosians any better.
Yeah, but talk to us about its participation in grassroots politics, because we know that when it comes to experience, you know, a lot of people will tell you that you need experience to run a multi-ethnic community or city like Lagos. Talk to us about how he has played, aside his participation at the NSAS, the 2020 NSAS protest. Talk to us about his participation in grassroots politics. You
know, he actually originally ran for local government chairman. Now, considering he's an MIT graduate, to take himself to that level, it shows you a man who is committed to the grassroots, a man who wanted to start from the very bottom and work his way up. And he has done that. Throughout all the campaigns he has been running, he has been connecting to Lagosians. He has been showing them that he's passionate about their well-being, you know, and he's out there consistently meeting with people. He's not campaigning in VI, he's campaigning in the streets. He's campaigning in the hidden parts of Lagos and connecting with these people, and these people have resonated with him. In fact, when he ran under the PDP, he got the second highest vote, opposition votes in Lagos State after, you know, Atiku at the time. So it shows that the people really are behind him and they believe in what he has to offer Lagos State.
All right, I'm going to take you, you know, from where you just stopped. You know, what a good time to be alive, because I would have wanted your principal to be here. Unfortunately, he's not here. Now, let me ask you, because there's this agenda. People are moving away now from the narrative of, okay, fine, a party with no structure now becoming more like a second, force, if not what they used to think before now. Gbadebo has, more of a Yoruba, descent, because his father is a Yoruba man. And of course, his mom is an Igbo-speaking lady.
Yes.
Fortunately, from my own, ethnic group.
And his
of
wife
course,
is
his
Igbo
wife
as well.
is Igbo. There is this narrative that he's pushing the Igbo agenda, which is the Biafra. Can you speak more about that?
I think it's a very ridiculous idea. He has never spoken about Biafra. And again, it's all about it's smoke screens, right? Now, rather than us, engaging in debate about policy, about, what he has to offer, his pedigree, we're discussing things as ridiculous as Biafra. There is no connection. There never has been.
Because they're saying that this guy has been saying things that is laced with hate towards the Yoruba race. And this conversation is trending on some blogs. And I said, I'm going to bring this to you. So can you speak to us about that?
No, we are aware of it, but it is all an attempt by the opposition to try and stain him. Now, I remember when Jimmy Agbaje ran, there was a time that they were accusing Jimmy Agbaje, who is descendant from a royal family in Lagos, that he is part of an Igbo agenda. So this tactic is not new. They've been playing it for a while. Once they feel threatened, once they feel scared, they say somehow it's an Igbo agenda. No.
So I like the fact that you are trending towards issue-based campaign.
That is what we need to discuss.
Yes, the fact that we have to talk about the challenges faced by Lagos, a city as large as Lagos, that contributes about 20% of Nigeria's GDP. And we know that it is the 4th largest economy in Africa. So we know that, of course, it's not a piece of cake when you want to handle a large economy like Lagos. How does Gbadebo Road's Vival intend to handle the multiplicity of challenges in a city like Lagos? The Apapa gridlock. We were just talking about the gridlock that happened yesterday, which isn't one of its kind. It happens regularly. Waste management, all of the issues, road network, all of the issues that the city is bedeviled with.
I think one of the key things that this government will offer is transparency and bringing an end to state-sponsored corruption. People, we look at Lagos and we think Lagos is making some strides, but for the resources that Lagos State has, we are doing absolutely nothing. Do you understand? So there needs to be a person in power who has compassion for the people. Now, Gbadebo Road's Vival is an architect by training. Now, he understands urban planning, and he has been involved working with the Chinese government and at one point the US government as well. And he's an MIT graduate, so we're talking about somebody who's been to the best universities in the world. He also got a master's in Unilag, and that's about policy development and governance. So this is a man who is very educated, a young man full of energy, and most importantly, a man whose only boss is the people of Lagos State.
Yeah,
a man who is not out there to serve any godfather. This will be the first time we have a governor who can focus on what is good for the people without thinking about what the cabal wants. A man who will bow his head to absolutely nobody except the people of Lagos State.
So is it about just the compassion? Because you've talked about the compassion, the fact that he doesn't have a godfather. Is it about just that? Because some people would even tell you that sometimes to run on a fresh, he is like a greenhorn when it comes to Lagos politics. So some people will tell you that Lagos politics, does he have any experience in Lagos politics?
Yes, he has been in the political scene for almost 8 years now.
Yeah, I'm talking about
area specifically.
Okay, yes.
So he has been running for government positions in the past and has that experience as well. He has the experience of working with the people of Lagos State and building his own very structure,
At
what level?
He hasn't held any government office in that sense, but he has been engaged in that space, in the political space as well. He has been active in that space.
All right, let me just drive home my point. So my point is, he has been, you are talking about the fact that he has the compassion, he will think about the people, but is that enough? Because you've not told us how intense to, I mentioned some issues, some challenges, like the traffic gridlock in Lagos State, the waste management, which is now a very serious problem, the road network issue, all of these issues. You've not talked about how intense
let's start
to tackle
with
them.
let's start with waste management. One of the things that we don't do in Nigeria, we don't sort our waste. You know, there's a certain amount of waste that we can use for compost. Now, in other countries, they use that compost to actually generate energy. They use that to grow food. Those are one of the things that he's going to do. Then he's going to depoliticize the last mile.
So you're talking about recycling?
Yes,
of waste.
effective recycling. And not just, we don't have waste management. You know, we just gather the waste and put it in a landfill. Given the small landmass that we have, we can't continue to do that. So we need to recycle, we need to properly sort our waste, and then we need to depoliticize and end the corruption in this sector. A few years ago, it was exposed that there were alleged last mile workers that were ghost workers, and it was siphoning a huge amount of resources from the state. So those are the things that he's going to do in that area. Now, when we talk about traffic, the key focus is to improve the transportation network by, one, finishing the rail lines. The rail lines that this government has been building for almost 15 years and has consumed billions of nairas will be completed under Gbadebo Road's Viva, right? Beyond that also, we are looking at how we can expand the BRT lanes, right? Rather than just saying it is a monopoly for the state's buses, any bus that can take more than 40 people should be allowed to use the BRT lanes as well, as far as it's properly maintained. That will help us further decongest the roads as well. And then we need to we need to improve our road networks by actually constructing new roads and most of all, maintaining the roads that exist.
But wouldn't that, sorry to button, wouldn't that change the purpose for those BRT lanes? Because the essence of that particular lane is to reduce traffic on that lane, so that it is just the BRT buses that are on that lane. How does this move or this plan hope to decongest traffic on
by bringing more and more buses onto those lanes? So we're talking about buses that have a minimum of 40 people. So this is able to decongest the road. It's achieving the same end. But rather than saying it is only the government buses that can go on, we can say, okay, yes, we allow anybody that has buses that are up to standard and can contain a minimum of 40 people. We put them on the roads. That means there's more availability. We can then have a situation where, you know, different people... In countries around the world, you have different enterprises that provide... More
like a private partnership.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
I get that point. And I appreciate where you talked about the corruption going in the civil service. In fact, the rot there is quite, huge. Looking at the ghost, workers you just cited. Now, talk to us about his plans. Because your boss mentioned something that has to do with not just implementing the minimum wage, but making it livable. How will he be able to actualize that?
I think the easiest way we could achieve that is by starting with the government institutions itself, by reviewing how much we're paying our people. Now, the first question people are going to ask is, how is that going to happen? Where are you going to get the money to increase the wages of civil servants?
All right.
I can assure you that when we stifle corruption in this state, we will have more than enough resources to divert back to the people. The very people, the civil servants who are the backbone of this society, right? They deserve more. They should have health insurance. They should have all the basic. They should have a secure and livable pension. Not that when they leave, they're given pittance, So those are the kind of things that we're looking to bring in so that we can transform this state to a mega city that it should be.
Well, all of this sounds very beautiful, and the pictures are very, good to behold. But we know that most times, how do they say that? We campaign in poetry and we govern in prose. Yes, we campaign in poetry and we govern in prose, and so it's not usually the same. So most times
it will be different.
It will be different. Well, you can say that. We'll wait to see. That is, if you get if you win the elections on Saturday. It's not our place to decide who wins. It is the place of the electorate to decide who wins. But let's talk about INEC. INEC came out recently to admit that, yes, there were irregularities at the February 25th Presidential National Assembly polls. before then they had been trying to, you know, defend and telling other oppositions and those raising objections to go to court. But now they are saying, yes, there were irregularities, and we promise that at these gubernatorial elections and state houses of assembly elections, we will do better. The beavers will work, IREV will work, and the vote of the electorate would count. How confident are you in this forthcoming, or in INEC's process, electoral process, these forthcoming elections?
We would hope that INEC would depoliticize itself and stop viewing itself as a political party and actually do its job and be an umpire for a free and fair election.
You're saying they are a political?
They are an appendage in the way they behaved in the last election at the presidential. Now, remember that the Federal House of Representatives worked perfectly on beavers, right? The states, the Senate, worked perfectly on beavers. But when we got to that crucial point of the presidential election, it started having problems. How? Why? You spent 305 billion naira developing this software, developing these structures, and you are telling me you cannot execute? What are we talking about? We are talking about uploading what do you call it? One page.
A result sheet.
One result sheet. From how many units? How many gigabytes?
Over 176,000.
176,000. Okay, now how many people are posting on Facebook right now? How many gigabytes of pictures are being uploaded to Facebook and all these other websites right now? And somehow these people are able to execute that successfully. But yet you spend 305 billion naira and you cannot upload 170 something documents in a day? You don't have the internet? Is that what you're telling me? It's absolutely ridiculous. They are performing their work as if they're a political party. We know that. Now, what we are going to say to the Nigerian people and the Lagosians is that regardless of what they try and do, let us go out there and vote, and most importantly, defend our vote. And we are more than prepared for whatever they throw at us. If they decide that they want to actually do their jobs and be an umpire, fantastic. We welcome that development. If they decide that they want to continue towing the same line that they did, again, we are ready for them and we are prepared.
Sounds like you're not so confident in the process.
Absolutely not.
No. Okay, so sorry to butt in.
Okay.
Let's look at the fact that the Labour Party right now, INEC is seeking an injunction, a permission from the court to reconfigure the beavers system. And it's looking like that won't sit well with those already having the case in court, like the Labour Party and the PDP. What's your next move now that, well, we don't know what the court's injunction or the court ruling would be on that case. But if peradventure the court decides to grant INEC that permission to reconfigure the beaver system, what would be your next move?
It is the ultimate evidence of corruption. Because, I mean, let us break these things down to our own lives, you know. Because if me and you we had a competition and we have an umpire, right? And the sheets that were used for this competition are being hidden away. And all of a sudden I say, okay, I want to look at it. And you're like, no, wait, let me quickly reset it before you look at it. That doesn't make any sense. You're literally saying, hold on, let me get rid of the evidence of the mistakes and the corruption that has happened before you come and look. It is the most ridiculous idea that anybody can ever have. The moment, in fact, we shouldn't even have to get a court injunction to go and view these things. After an election, it should be standard procedure to open all of these things up and say, anybody come and inspect. All parties are welcome to come and inspect because we've conducted it in a fair manner. And anybody who has done their job fairly will be overjoyed to open up their platforms and say, everybody come and inspect. But the fact that they are doing this is ultimate proof to the Nigerians and the Lagosians that it was a fraud.
Now, there is this conversation that one man, being the INEC chief, can be bought. How about, for the sake of future elections, we having 6 geopolitical chairmen or commissioners, as the case may be, for issues of compromise when it comes to results? What's your thought on that?
I think it's an idea. There could be some merit to it, but it also brings in its own problems as well.
Like?
There could be friction, and we could further sectionalize this country. That would be my fear. That's the first I've heard of it. Seems like an interesting idea, but we can evaluate that going forward. But the current structure would work if we didn't have people who wrote a guideline. You declare the rules of the football match, and then in that match you stopped following the rules. You wrote the regulations yourself. You put it out there. You said you would not declare a winner until so and so has been done. And then halfway through, at one point, people were protesting during the National Collation Center. And his word was that they should wait. Let us finish declaring fraudulent results before. It doesn't make any sense.
But you don't think INEC as the umpire has that right? So you don't think it's within their jurisdiction to decide what determines how they declare the result, or what processes to follow before the result is declared?
No, it is not. It is, we are following laws that we've agreed on. That's the whole idea of passing the 2022 Electoral Act. The whole idea was to create these structures that will prevent any manipulation. And you go through the process of, first we struggled to get that act passed. It wasn't passed before the last election to benefit the party in power. Now you finally passed it. And again, because that same party is on the ballot, you completely ignored everything you passed. You completely ignored everything you promised Nigerians. You sat there, you gave interviews, you tweeted it, you said this is what we're going to do, and then halfway through you're like, no.
In 2014, towards the 2015 election, we saw a third force come up. That of course swept off the incumbent government of former President Goodluck Jonathan. There was an alliance between the ACN, the NPDP, and some other parties who were able to unseat the government in power. Are there any plans to form any alliance with any other party that's for the Labour Party to ensure that maybe they form a stronger force to take the position of the gubernatorial seat?
Definitely, we are open and we are in talks, with different parties. And in fact, a few parties have already joined us already. Like the Boot Party has collapsed the structure.
Boot Party?
Yes. Has collapsed the structure. It's very indigenous. Very indigenous. They're trying to boot out bad governance.
Like that's the name of the party.
With the emblem of a boot.
Yes, you've seen it, right?
Seen it, yeah.
And a number of parties, even the PDP, were in discussions with them on how we can work together to deliver the state.
But you know the PDP has a candidate, so it means that something may happen along the line?
We're in talks with them and we're looking for the best way to work this out, because Lagos State is the only state, to my knowledge, in this country that has been under the thumb of one particular party and one person for 20
Since
years.
1999.
For 20 years. It is slavery. The governor before the current governor was booted out like a child. Why?
Ambody.
Yes. He was pushed out because he wasn't doing the bidding of some people. Now, when you have that president, you can see how important it is that this golden opportunity that we have as Lagosians to deliver this state is too important.